This evening, first, a deadly shooting under investigation. A 34-year-old carpenter is gunned down along a quiet access road at Beirut, East Coast Demerara. Police combed CCTV footage and chased leads as another life is lost to gun violence. Thus, feeding more children better meals ahead. The government moves to expand the national school feeding program, promising wider reach and improved nutrition as education officials link healthy meals to stronger learning outcomes. Also, eyes on the border. Prime Minister Mark Phillips says Guyana has stepped up border security following political upheaval in Venezuela, with the defense force on heightened alert and no unusual activity reported so far. Meanwhile, a viral video raises urgent questions. Police investigate footage allegedly showing wanted fugitive Jamal Bourne with firearms and possibly injuring himself as authorities work to verify what's real and what isn't. And abroad, Guatemala declares a state of emergency after gang attacks killed police officers during prison raids, plunging the capital into crisis. Those stories and more coming up. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for January 19, 2026. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, gun violence has once again shattered the calm of an East Coast Demerara community after a 34-year-old man was gunned down along a quiet access road at Beirut on Sunday night, prompting a full-scale investigation by police in Regional Division 4C. The deceased has been identified as Hampton Chichester, also known as Orlando, a carpenter from that area. The incident occurred around 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, January 18. Preliminary investigations indicate that Chichester's body was found lying motionless along the Beirut access road with suspected gunshot wounds to the chest and shoulder. Emergency medical technicians responded, and he was pronounced dead at the scene by a doctor from the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. Police secured a motorcycle discovered near the body as part of the investigation. The body was later transported to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home, where it is awaiting a post-mortem examination. The police have since canvassed the area for CCTV cameras and retrieved footage, which is currently being reviewed. Several individuals have been contacted and questioned. The police says the investigation remains active as they continue to analyze CCTV footage and pursue leads. In other news, the government is set to expand and enhance the national school feeding program, aiming to reach more students and improve the nutritional quality of meal, Minister of Education Sonia Parag announced. Speaking on the Starting Point podcast, Minister Parag emphasized that improving students' nutritional intake and access to quality meals is a key focus for the next 5 years. The program currently provides breakfast and lunch along with juice and biscuit snacks to students in about 240 schools, benefiting over 5,100 children. It also supports roughly 340 caterers, offering steady employment and financial empowerment. Minister Parag noted that the initiative promotes better health, encourages school attendance, and enhances learning outcome. She explained that the expansion aligns with the government's universal access to education policy, ensuring that children, particularly those in remote communities, receive regular school meals. This program is not just about feeding students, it's about giving them the opportunity to learn and thrive, Minister Parag said. Expansion plans include extending the program to additional schools, improving meal quality, and reaching more grades and regions. The government aims to ensure that all children have access to nutritious meals, supporting both their education and physical development. The initiative forms part of a broader strategy to strengthen social support systems and promote equity in education, particularly for students from disadvantaged and remote communities. Moving on, Guyana has strengthened its border security following recent political upheaval in neighboring Venezuela. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips has said, emphasizing that the nation remains vigilant and secure. In remarks on the Starting Point podcast on Sunday, the Prime Minister said the Guyana Defense Force has intensified monitoring along the country's western frontier with Venezuela amid ongoing regional uncertainty.
The Guyana Defense Force, as you know, is already deployed along all our borders. Border with Suriname, border with Brazil, and border with Venezuela, right? And as a result of what transpired on the 3rd of January, Immediately we went into a more heightened state of readiness, right? In fact, I will argue that the troops there were already in a heightened state of readiness. So it's just a matter of sensitizing them to what happened in Venezuela and for them to be extra vigilant.
The Prime Minister noted that troops were already on heightened alert due to the situation that unfolded in Venezuela on January 3rd, and the government has further stepped up readiness to guard against potential spillover effects. Prime Minister Phillips also traveled to Region 1 to meet with defense officials, regional authorities, and residents, affirming that local communities are well informed through improved internet connectivity. He stated that there has been no unusual activity along the Guyana-Venezuela border and that the movement remains consistent with routine cross-border traffic.
We will not fall into any false sense of security and believing that everything is back to normal. We'll continue to observe. We'll continue to focus on ensuring that any instability or any untoward acts on the other side of the border don't spill over to our side. Because at the end of the day, we have to define aggression on the border. We have to defend our border. And we have to ensure that the people who live on our side enjoy an acceptable level of security.
The Prime Minister stressed that safeguarding national sovereignty and ensuring the safety of border communities remain top priorities. Responding to differing regional positions on developments in Venezuela, Prime Minister Phillips expressed support for balanced policies aligned with Ghana's national interests and echoed confidence in the government's approach to international engagement. Stick around when we return. Ghana launches national electronic health record system to modernize healthcare delivery, and government pledges over $120 million investment to elevate Mashermani 2026 celebration.
Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common Smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services. 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE, if you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025, and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change or correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone who you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. All GCOM registration offices will open Mondays to Fridays from 8 to 18 hours, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 14 hours. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Police are actively investigating a viral social media video allegedly showing wanted fugitive Jamal Bourne, also known as Skinny, wanted in connection with the September 2024 murder of Akeem Hammer of Podrine, West Bank, Demerara. The footage, which circulated online on Sunday, January 18, 2026, reportedly shows Bourne displaying suspected firearms before injuring himself, prompting urgent inquiries by authorities to verify the circumstances and authenticity of the recording. The footage, live streamed on Facebook, allegedly shows Bourne inflicting what appears to be a gunshot wound to himself. During the broadcast, he was also reportedly in the company of another individual and was seen allegedly displaying several suspected firearms. The video has since been removed from social media page on which it was originally posted. However, authorities say they are actively reviewing the footage as part of their investigation. Police have cautioned that there is currently no official confirmation of Bourne's death. The force noted that no reports related to the alleged incident have been received from any of Guyana's 12 policing divisions, further underscoring the need for verification. According to the Ghana Police Force, the matter is being treated with urgency and seriousness. Investigators are working to determine the authenticity of the video, the location where it was recorded, and the circumstances surrounding the incident. The police have also emphasized that Bourne remains a wanted person at this time, pending verified information to the contrary. Investigations are continuing as law enforcement authorities pursue all available leads to establish the facts. On a different note, in a spectacular launch at Georgetown's Railway Courtyard on Friday, the government announced its largest ever investment in Mashermani, committing over $120 million to elevate the 2026 celebrations. The festival, themed Expressing Our Culture Through Innovation and Creativity, promises to bridge Ghana's rich cultural past with contemporary artistic expression, marking the nation's 60th independence anniversary with unprecedented flair and vibrancy. Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports Charles Ramson said the investment reflects Mashermani's significance in shaping Guyanese identity.
This is the time to play Mashermani Electoral.
Under the theme Expressing Our Culture Through Innovation and Creativity, the festival aims to bridge the past and present, encouraging artists and designers to interpret heritage while maintaining cultural integrity. The launch featured a vibrant showcase of local designers with colorful costumes from government ministries and private groups, alongside diverse performances by local artists. Minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, Stephen Jacobs, highlighted that Mashermani 2026 will place a strong emphasis on heritage while maintaining the festival's energy and vibrancy. The government's investment underscores its commitment to positioning Mashermani as a living archive of Guyanese identity, strengthening national pride, boosting the creative industry, and reinforcing the festival's role as a cornerstone of national unity. This year's celebration promises to be bigger, bolder, and more deeply connected to the country's rich cultural history. In other news, Ghana has officially launched a national electronic health record system, marking a major step towards modernizing healthcare delivery and improving patient care nationwide. The system, unveiled on Saturday at the Festival City Polyclinic alongside a health fair, is designed to reduce waiting time, eliminate paper records, and improve coordination among doctors, laboratories, and pharmacies. Chairperson for the launch of the National Electronic Health Record System, Andrea King, said the program is launching a new approach to healthcare in Guyana.
The goal is powerful and patient-centered. One patient, one record. This means that wherever a patient goes within the public health system, their medical history will follow them securely and accurately, enabling more precise, timely, and effective care. Allow me to highlight briefly what this system means for key stakeholders. For patients, it means faster service, reduced wait time, and greater confidence that their medical information is complete and up to date. For healthcare professionals, it means easier access to patient histories, better coordination of care, and the ability to make more informed clinical decisions. For administrators and policymakers, it means reliable data to guide planning, improve efficiency, and strengthen the overall delivery of healthcare services. And for the nation as a whole, it means stronger, smarter, and more modern health systems that put the people first.
Patients will be able to book appointments online, access their medical history digitally, and have test results, imaging, and prescriptions stored in a single secure record. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said the initiative supports the government's broader digital transformation agenda and highlighted lessons learned during the COVID-19 pandemic, where patients' data had to be managed manually.
This system is going to allow you to make a booking so you will know your time. And you come a little bit before, and they will see you within that time slot that they have offered you. And then when you come now, with this paperless thing that we are talking about, there will be no card. So you will come, they'll go into the computer, they'll be able to see your name, and that can be done in seconds. So you don't have to wait for them to go find a card for you. It's in seconds they'll find it, and then you go straight to the doctor. The doctor would be not writing on a physical card. The doctor would be writing on the computer all their findings. And then from that, it goes from there. If you got to get meds, the medication that they prescribe goes to the pharmacy. You would go over to the pharmacy. They'll know the medication that you have to receive. And by the time you get there, they can even package it and have it ready for you, right? If you got to do a laboratory test, they take off the sample, it goes to the lab. When it goes to the lab, what happens? They'll process it. When the results finish, you ain't got to come back and wait there. That results go directly into your record, right? If you go and you get an X-ray or other forms of imaging, when they finish, that image goes into your record. So it's all there in one place. So you don't have to worry. We are going to release an app soon. Everybody know apps, right? So you go on your smartphone, you get an app, you can press the app, and you'll be able to get all of your records on your phone. That's where we're going.
Dr. Anthony noted that the EHR will allow results to be uploaded directly to patients' records, reducing repeat visits and delays.
Sometimes you are at a clinic in the public sector and you decide that you want to go and see a doctor in the private sector, right? Now, you don't have your records from the public sector to take over. So you sometimes try to explain what is wrong with you, and maybe you don't get all the information correct. But in this instance, you can get your record and take it across because it is with you, right? All your records are going to be available to you. So whatever is wrong with you, you will be able to have those records with you.
Addressing privacy concerns, Dr. Anthony assured that strict safeguards are in place under the Data Protection Act, which carries heavy penalties for the unlawful disclosure of medical information. The EHR system will be rolled out nationwide across all public hospitals and health centers, with plans to integrate private healthcare providers. The minister urged patients and healthcare workers to embrace the new system, saying it will lead to more efficient care, better planning, and improved health outcomes nationwide. Don't go away after the break. China hits 2025 GDP target, but households remain cautious. And U.S. deepfake threats, voters warn not to believe everything they see.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily, with the gift of advice from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Carpet smalls make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown, telephone 226-1082.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE, if you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. You are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether the particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Dominic Gittins. Tonight, Chile declares a state of catastrophe as deadly wildfires force mass evacuations. Guatemala imposes emergency rules after deadly gang attacks. China meets its growth target despite weak consumer spending. And deepfake videos raise fresh concerns ahead of US midterm elections. We begin in Chile. Chile has declared a state of catastrophe in its southern regions as wildfires kill at least 18 people and force over 50,000 evacuations. Authorities say extreme heat and strong winds fueled the blaze, which have burned nearly 8,500 hectares amid worsening climate-driven conditions. Guatemala's president has declared a state of emergency after gangs attacked police across the capital. At least 7 officers have been killed. The assaults took place while security forces stormed 3 prisons that were seized by inmates who took dozens of people hostage. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampietti reports.
Firefighters try unsuccessfully to revive a wounded police officer outside the Justice Center in Villanueva on Sunday. He was one of 7 officers shot dead as gangs retaliated after authorities moved back into prisons taken over by inmates. Social media videos show at least 3 prisons in flames. Dozens of guards were taken hostage, part of a coordinated uprising sparked by the government's refusal to loosen prison conditions for senior gang leaders. At the high-security Renovación 1 prison in Escuintla, masked inmates seized watchtowers as police and soldiers formed a tight perimeter outside.
How are they going to protect our lives in this place? They are not. Look at the state of this prison.
By Sunday, authorities said they had regained control of Renovación 1 and freed the hostages. Police footage shows alleged gang members being rounded up and recaptured. Among them, Aldo Dupi, known as El Lobo, widely reported as the top leader of the Barrio 18 gang. But soon after, the coordinated attacks on police broke out in and around Guatemala City. Interior Minister Marco Antonio Villeda said the government would not negotiate, announcing joint police-army operation to secure urban areas.
We arrested 7 gang members, either moments before carrying out attacks or shortly after they had done so. Also, 1 gang member was killed after police responded to an attack on officers' lives.
Guatemala has long struggled with criminal violence linked mainly to the Barrio 18 and Mara Salvatrucha MS-13 gangs, both designated terrorist organizations by Guatemala and the United States. The latest unrest began last year when authorities moved senior gang leaders to the Renovación prison. As authorities worked to restore order, residents were warned of possible attacks on civilians and urged to stay indoors. Public events in the capital have been cancelled as security forces remain on high alert. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera.
China's economy grew by 5% in 2025, meeting the government's official target. However, growth has been driven largely by export rather than domestic demand. Consumer spending remains weak, with households saving more amid economic uncertainty. Al Jazeera's Katrina Yu reports.
Every night at 7 p.m., a queue forms outside Rushishin restaurant in central Beijing. It offers a vegan buffet to customers for less than $3. But after 7:30 p.m., those who can't afford to pay eat for free. Zhu Beibei is among the increasing number of young people taking up the offer.
My monthly food expenses are quite high, more than $200.
The 23-year-old earns $700 a month, and like many in China, is trying to save as much as she can. More than 100 people come to this restaurant daily for free lunches and dinners.
The current economic environment is not very good, and many people are under great pressure and facing difficulties. We hope that by providing free meals, we can help.
China's economy grew 5% in 2025, hitting official targets, but growth has been uneven. Industrial output and exports are strong, but domestic demand is weak. A downturn in the housing sector and a bleak job market mean people are reluctant to spend. Fierce competition for customers has led to price wars in many industries, from electric vehicles to food delivery. Producer prices have been declining for 3 years, eating into company profits.
Since 2023, the price of many everyday items has fallen. For example, for cooking oil, you'll pay about 5% less. Noodles, 2%. Rice has fallen by approximately 8%. Coffee is now about 30% cheaper to buy. Vegetables, 6%. And eggs, they will cost you about 11% less.
That's according to government data and figures provided by official associations. Some economists say the decline has been steeper. Beijing is cracking down on what it's called hyper-competition and has promised to do more to boost consumer confidence, including rolling out billions of dollars in subsidies to encourage shoppers to trade in old appliances for new ones. For now, Rushishin Restaurant says it will continue to ensure there's enough food for everyone who walks through the doors, whether they're able to pay for it or not. Katrina Yu, Al Jazeera, Beijing.
As the US gears up for the midterms, voters are being warned not to believe everything they see. So-called deepfake videos are flooding social media with few rules to stop their use, even by politicians themselves. Al Jazeera Phil Lavelle reports.
Fact: the US midterms are next November. Fiction? Well, that could be anything you watch online before then.
Because in a world where seeing is believing and so many of us are on these things, a warning from some: beware the deepfakes.
Hyper-real fakes now going mainstream. Turning this photograph into this video took just seconds with a free phone app. And politics, never simple. These days, almost unbelievable.
Now, there is a difference here. See, so-called cheap fakes have been around for years.
Images like President Trump eating McDonald's, posted by Democrat Gavin Newsom, or hugging Anthony Fauci, the doctor whose guidance led America's COVID lockdown policies, posted by a one-time rival.
But deepfakes take that to a whole new level, and they are spreading fast.
You know, what's the old saying, right? A lie can make it halfway around the world before the truth gets its boots on. The lie's making it around the world a dozen times before we even realize it.
That's Georgia Senator John Ossoff, a Democrat. But that's not. This 100% fake video was posted by his political opponent recently. Not illegal, technically, because look hard, there's the small disclaimer at the bottom.
Is there a red line here? And if there is, where is it?
There is no red line because when it comes to social media, that this is a new medium here and there's no way to regulate it.
What's alarming is just how easy deepfakes are to make. Some AI platforms refuse to let you use a person's likeness, but others charge a fairly nominal fee to make something super convincing. Trouble is, you never quite know what's real and what's not.
Case in point, he is not real, this is real. It's not perfect, but pretty convincing, and this only took a few minutes and a few dollars to make. If anybody wants to do this for a key public figure or a politician, well, they're not going to have much trouble.
My fellow Americans. AI startup Pindrop was called in last year when a fake Joe Biden started phoning people, telling them not to bother voting. They are the deepfake detectives because people can be easily taken in.
If you look at the accuracy of humans in detecting deepfakes, it's right now 38%, which is worse off than a monkey with a random coin toss, which does it right 50% of the times. And this is because these systems have become so good.
Here in Georgia, they are actually trying to ban deepfakes around election times. Bills have been passed, although they haven't become law yet. And think about where we are. This is a Republican state and one that was at the center of claims of election fraud back in 2020. It is a very sensitive subject here.
President Trump signed an executive order in May called the Take It Down Act. It covers deepfakes used in porn, but not in politics. This is a new political frontier.
I think there is a part that the government has to play.
What that looks like and how it's policed, well, that is a whole new world of challenges. Phil Lavelle, Al Jazeera, Atlanta, Georgia.
Thanks, Dominic. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-minute forecast. And that's it to TV2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for rebroadcast and 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.